Disturbing stuff, folks. Hey, everyone. This is a National Post headline article. Listen to this one. RCMP requests bulletproof doors and wall panels for homes of public officials. Whoa. Subportion of this headline. Changing threat levels are behind an RCMP request for proposals this month. That's very disturbing. Think about it. When you live in a country where your public officials feel so threatened that you would need bulletproof doors and wall panels, that sounds like an authoritarian state. That sounds like you live in a police state. That sounds like you don't live in what they call a democracy based on freedoms, right? And individual liberty. That just doesn't align. Those are polar opposites. So when you hear your political or media propagandists or informants talking and spewing stuff out of their mouth like, oh, you live in Canada. Canada's so free. And I don't know if you heard this before, but Canada is more of a soft authoritarian, soft totalitarian state where they will soothe you with platitudes and bullshit lies and narratives that, oh, we're so kind, like Trudeau, right? Oh, I'm a feminist. But meanwhile, like I say, no. The most devious people, like I say, they come at you with benevolent platitudes. But underlying all those benevolent platitudes, right? And think about the authoritarians in the past that gained a huge gathering, a large swath of the population that supported them blindly, right? They did the same thing. Whether it's like under communism or socialism or these collectives that represent forced subjugation and basically almost full-on slavery. They always use that very same pretense. If they, and I've said in past videos, if they come at you telling you what their real intentions were, right? Nobody would fall for it. Just like a snake oil salesman. They're not going to tell you, hey, this is bullshit. This is snake oil. It's not really going to do what I tell you it's going to do. But they give you the best sales pitch that they can in the hopes that you will suck it up and bite into it, hook, line, and sinker. Stop falling for the bullshit narratives and the bullshit platitudes, Canada. This here, as if you didn't understand already, this should be the final nail in the coffin for these authoritarians, these collectivists, these sociopaths, these control freaks among us that are seeking out to have some pretense of authority over you. They are now getting to the point where what do they see on the horizon that you don't know, that you don't see? Even if right now you think I'm ridiculous for pointing out this kind of stuff, even if you think, oh, Bennett, oh, you just sensationalize things to a degree. It's like, what? Listen, we live in a free country. Look, I can walk down the streets and, well, why are they so disturbed? Why would they think that they have to get to this point? Think about it. Where's this mass amount of violence towards the ruling class? Or even the media class, the propagandists among us, where they would feel, the RCMP would feel that you would have to put forth and present this kind of narrative, right? Or is it that they know what's coming down the pipe? Like I say, you need to really question these kind of narratives when they present and put forth this kind of stuff. And it's showing a big, giant armored vehicle. The RCMP is worried enough about the security of some unnamed public officials that has issued an unusual call for lightweight armored doors and wall panels for officials' homes, citing changing threat levels. It says the door assemblies and walls must offer both forced entry and ballistic or bulletproof protection while being easy to install. Jesus. But the force includes a caveat in tender documents published this month. The protective equipment also has to look good. That sounds something. Was this being handed down by, is it the RCMP or is it Trudeau? I don't know. I'll leave that to you to decide. Or at least it must be aesthetically compatible with existing housing materials and flooring. Or is it just to pretend that, hey, nothing wrong here? As long as the visual aesthetics looks like, hey, we're all still one big happy family and we don't fear our population. I don't know. Think about the kind of authoritarians that fear their population. Like I say, think about anywhere around the world where the ruling class fears the population. Would you consider that a true democracy? This thing that they tell you it's all about freedom, right? I don't. The requests for proposals offer a rare glimpse at the protection afforded some Canadian dignitaries in a country where security for individual public figures is for the most part fairly understated. One of 3 tenders issued say the wall panels must match changing threat levels, but the RCMP refused to say what threats specifically prompted the project or what type and number of public officials might get the retrofits in their homes. The Force's Protective Technical Services Branch is always looking for new and better ways to deliver its mandate of providing physical security and countermeasure solutions for VIPs and internationally protected persons. Sergeant Harold Feiderer, an RCMP spokesman, said in an emailed statement, "For security reasons, we cannot provide more specific information." And just look through my past video, Inside the Mind of a Sociopath. It's a 2-part video that I did, and it's we've done very early on, probably 2 years ago. But like I say, if you just punch in, if you go to my YouTube channel, Canadian Libertarian, and you go to the video section, and then you click that little magnifying glass and just put the search keywords in there, mind authoritarian. Even those 2 words will probably take you directly to those videos. And pay attention to the kind of rhetoric put forth by that particular RCMP officer that went to Mr. Dunphy's home and shot him dead in his own driveway. One security consultant said using such material for hardening the target is common practice in the security industry, often used to create safe rooms where residents can hide when under threat. The same officials who are guarded by RCMP security details, like the Prime Minister and certain cabinet ministers, will likely get the bulletproof home protection too, said Terrence Chase of Defense Intelligence Services, a private military company based in Surrey, BC. So, as you can see, this is also one of these crony corporations that are using fear as a means to generate profits. Like I say, you need to stop supporting these people. You need to withdraw any support for the state and their crony corporatists and their authoritarian counterparts. People are not just aware that it's actually being used. It's being used on a regular basis in a number of residents out there. In Canada, he said, it will not necessarily fend off an attack, but it will delay the attacking force long enough for responding forces to attend. Attacking force. And bulletproof walls and door will not fend off the attack completely, but it will delay the attacking force. What do they know that you don't know? That should be the first question that comes to mind when you hear this kind of rhetoric. But Chase said that the type of technology the RCMP is requesting and plans to test is already readily available and verified as effective by agencies like the U.S. Secret Service. It seems the Canadians are reinventing the wheel in what appears to be a needlessly costly process, he said. Anyways, I'll post a link to this article in the description of this video below. But this article, the kind of revelations contained within this article should be not just shocking, but extremely disturbing and make you really wonder what is going on. What is going on that this kind of stuff is put forth and being presented to the Canadian people, to the Canadian population. It's a Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.